Hey, it may make my new thing to talk to you guys every day when I get off work after I've sat all day thinking about what I want to say. Today, how about I finish telling you guys about how we became the parents of 6 children. So like I said yesterday, we got Brittany and Wyatt, and then about a year passed and we decided that we might want to try to get one more child. We knew we were going to adopt Brittany and Wyatt, but I still really kind of wanted that baby stage, so we decided that we were going to open our home back up and to just a young child, maybe a toddler or a baby, but probably no children 7 or 8, because we didn't want our first 2 to feel intimidated or anything like that. So that's just what our plan was. Well, I get a phone call from the Child Protective Services office, and they said we have these 2 kids, and I was like, we only wanted 1. And she said, well, it would just be temporary. Their goal is to return home, which anybody that's ever done foster care knows that the goal is always to be reunited with the parents. But they were pretty confident that they would be, and it was a little boy who was almost 2 years old and this little girl who was just about to turn 10. And so I told them, like, I don't really think that would be a good fit for us. I don't see that working out, but, you know, I'm sorry. And they were like, well, we don't really have anywhere else to send them that they can stay together. Is there any way you guys could take them for just a week or 2 until we find a new home for them? And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll come pick them up and they can come stay with us, and we'll do what we can to help them until the time comes. Well, fast forward, they're there for a couple weeks and they never find anywhere for them to go. And then I was talking to the little girl, and she was just the sweetest little thing, and I just loved her instantly. And she was telling us about how the foster family she had been with before didn't really treat them like they were their children, like we tried to do. They made a difference in them and other children in the home, and she really wanted to stay with us, she said, until she went back home to be with her mom. And so of course we couldn't say no. I mean, there just was no way. And so they stayed with us, and that was Brianna and Braden. And it turned out after a while that they were there, I mean, I couldn't help it. I treated them like they were my own, and I grew to love them like they were my own. I couldn't differentiate between, you know, this child and that child. There was no, you know, oh, I'm just not going to grow attached. I mean, I just couldn't do that. So of course I fell in love with them. And then in 2013, I found out that I was pregnant with our first child, which would be Mackenzie. But the goal for Brianna and Braden was always for them to be reunited with their birth family. So that was really hard for me, and I didn't know how I was going to deal with it, but I knew it was coming up. And then fast forward to May 9th of 2014, I was told that Brianna and Braden were going to be going back home, that I had to drop them off. Now, let me just explain to you that this was the day before I was due to be induced for Mackenzie, because we also had finally gotten our adoption scheduled for Brittany and Wyatt in the following week. So the emotions I was feeling when we dropped them off were just unexplainable. I mean, I was crushed. I was so sad. I didn't want to see them go. I wasn't confident in their safety where they were going, because I knew some things that had happened and I just wasn't comfortable with it. But yeah, and then turn around, I knew the very next day I was going to have a baby. I mean, it was crazy. It was ridiculous. But we dropped them off and I gave them hugs. And then the next day, Mackenzie was born.